What we're going to do next, though, is we're going to enter the Queen's Court. You are, Your Majesty, you have your loyal subjects here. We have brought you spoils.
I get
and
trash,
ideas.
and you get the Queen's Court.
That's right.
Good. We got to follow up with the Queen after Monday.
We gotta clean it up a little bit.
I'm going to let you hold court, Queen. You run the segment as you see fit, Your Majesty.
Okay. So I hear that you all have some picks that you have brought to me. Is that correct?
This is true.
This is true.
This is true. I got something sexy. Tim's got some sizzle. He's got a little sizzle.
Mm-hmm.
I got sexy.
So are we doing this? Are we doing this like the actual Queen? Like, somebody comes to my chambers and says, Your Majesty,
Good.
Lord Justices.
Hey, Queen. I was talking to Tim because Tim's like, Matt, I don't get why you have these personalities when you play games. Like when I'm playing a game of zombies, I'm like this dude from this movie, and I'm Captain Jack, right? I like getting into personalities. We're in a pandemic, and I think all of us, it's okay to act like our inner 12, 13-year-old self and have a little bit of imagination and creativity. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'll come to court. I'll play the game.
Coming to my chambers first? I see the problem is that you all are justices, so I have to give you guys new names now.
My name is Duke Justice. Thank you.
Justice.
I come from the lands of the north. We come from the mountain regions of Utah.
And
other people pronounce it as Utah.
And I am but a humble squire, my Queen.
He is my servant, my man-child.
I am here to do the heavy lifting and the work.
I already love this game. I can call Tim man-child. And he can't get offended.
Maybe I'm the court jester. Maybe I'm the court jester.
No, Mark's coming in.
All right.
Oh,
we got this whole
boy.
thing.
All right. Who dares go first?
I tried to. I thus go. I'll go. Okay. So here's my pick. All right. Gamers. Okay. And I'm not talking about the gamers out there like my dude gamers. I'm talking about the gaming companies out there. See, Activision, EA, Roblox. You throw Roblox into that group now. Mm-hmm. I see, with no pun intended with SE, but I see there's only really kind of three plays here in the gamer space right now. And I think you got a unique opportunity in the short term in the gamer space. And I really think, I truly do think it really comes down to three. And that is not the same three that was historical. The three gamer companies that typically people would look to when they wanted access to the gaming industry would be Take-Two Entertainment. You obviously have your Activision there, and then you have your EA Sports. And so you had Take-Two, you have EA, and you have Activision. And obviously Activision was our favorite of the bunch there. It's been a Tackle 25 stock for, what now, 4 years, 5 years, Tim? Mm-hmm. I think we've had this debate before, but I don't remember what we settled on.
It's one of the other.
But it's a company we really, really like. Well, SE here has C Limited, obviously, Gaming International Company, just an absolute juggernaut. It's actually a massive company, $120 billion company. C here trading very similar to Activision. When you take a look at ATVI, you see a little bit of a short-term bearish retracement in a longer-term bullish uptrend. You have C here, short-term bearish downtrend in a longer bullish uptrend as well. And so you got a very similar technical read. You look at these on the weekly chart. See here, you got a nice little bullish retracement on the weekly chart. You have Activision. You have a nice little bullish retracement on the weekly chart there. And so you got a very similar read on SC, and you got a very similar read on Activision. The third stock I would put, I would dare put into Queen's Court, because if I put some trash garbage $2 billion stock that really is a $2 million stock, like I'd be thrown out. I'd never get an audience in front of the Queen. So I'm bringing you some the cream of the crop here in the gamer space. I will throw Roblox into that discussion. In terms of if I were to tier list this, tier A tier, right? Top tier, you got Activision, you got Roblox, and you got C now. Okay, those would be my first tier. Everything under that, we don't care about that trash in the Queen's Court. We look at the best tier. Roblox, I think we're a little premature here. You know me, Queen. I like it. I like an earnings report. I like to see some numbers. I'd like to see. I like to at least visualize a path to profitability. I like to know where we're going here. But more than anything, honestly, I want to see how the market's going to react to earnings. I want the market to show what their real hand is, and earnings is their first opportunity to show the market's real hand. And so I want to see that. And so Roblox, I love Roblox, and I think Roblox long term is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I just always like time frame when it comes to recent IPOs. So I can't do Roblox, although I think somebody else might be doing that. I want to look specifically at C versus Activision. And M, this is for somebody that does not have, let's say you have 10% of your portfolio in communications, and that's your number. Well, you don't need Activision then. Let's say you have, C, and you're like, well, should I add Activision? No, you don't need Activision. This is for somebody's portfolio that is looking at the portfolio and saying, you know what? I love what's happening in communications. I love comms. You want to talk about Bitcoin not getting caught up in the tech volatility? Comms should have got caught up in the tech volatility, and it was actually more defensive than Bitcoin, than even Bitcoin was. Very impressive out of comms. Recent breakout in comms. Look at that weekly breakout right there. 4-week hesitation, breakout, and run there. So you got to like comms. This is for somebody that wants some emphasis in communications, and they're looking at communications saying, listen, I like those gamers out there. I'm seeing an opportunity in either C limited or specifically Activision. And so when you're looking at the gamers, I feel there's only two that I would consider the blue chip right now. Okay, right now. And that is C and that is Activision, because again, we need some time, in my opinion, on Roblox. And again, I'm just talking directional here, right? Options are a little bit different. I'm just talking directional. So you're looking at C versus Activision. Now, Queen, I'm not looking swing trade here. I'm looking a little bit longer term. Okay, I'm looking a little bit longer term. Now, because I'm looking a little longer term, I'm also going to take a little bit into, I'm taking a little bit of valuation and fundamental analysis into my conversation here as well. Since I got a very similar read on C versus Activision, the tiebreaker for me would be the valuation. And so in an area where there's been a little bit of growth concerns, C is a little bit more growth than Activision is. And you can kind of see that on the chart as well. And so when you're looking at C, you're talking about a company that does not have a PE ratio, that does not have a PEG ratio, that has a price to book that's at 33. You're talking about an extremely overvalued company right now. An extremely overvalued company right now. Again, similar technical read to Activision, but to me, the difference is very simple. This on Activision, clean trigger above 96, clean trigger above 96. That would be the weekly confirmation number as well. And so above, and you can give it like 95.5, and I'm giving it 96. You go above 96, that is your weekly confirmation. Now, because it's a little bit more prolonged, longer term view on Activision, where you can do some covered calls and so on and so forth, Activision is a wonderful covered call type stock as well. You got all the liquidity that you ever need in Activision. But back to the fundamentals, unlike C, once again, very similar technically, but unlike C, Activision has a PE ratio at 32 right now and a forward PE ratio at 23 and an infinitely better book value. The valuation obviously puts it into Activision's camp. I like the short-term retrace, the short-term bearish downtrend as a buy the dip candidate for a prolonged longer-term position trade with the sprinkle of cash flow on it when needed, and that is Activision. I compared against Activision against C and against C specifically because those two are the leaders in this space from a price performance perspective. C's fundamentals not nearly as good as Activision's fundamentals. That breaks the tiebreaker. My pick is a position trade on Activision.
Let me see the weekly one more time on C.
C's weekly sexy. It's sexy. It's consistently sexy.
Oh, do I give my judgment now or do I have to wait for everybody else to go through?
Queen, it is your court. Literally, you can
You do whatever you
off
want.
our
It's
heads.
your court.
Oh,
You can do whatever you'd like.
If you want to see a comparison against some of the other charts,
no. You gave me the best three. I do like that Darling and Roblox that's coming up, but like as you said, I also agree with you. We do need to see a little bit more information. It's just starting to chug along. It's been on the market for a week. So
Five
although
candles
I like
isn't
it as
enough
well,
for the queen.
I am not going to confirm or deny I did not buy
Listen,
shares
if
for
this
my
was a real
children's
court, the
IRAs.
over under of me surviving like a week in the queen's court is minimal. I would
Now-
be dead. Like,
You and
You
I,
would be
we
cut-
do
you-
trade.
you'd
We
be
do
the first
trade
meme, bro.
similar.
it wouldn't work out very well for me.
I do love the
Don't pull a
Darling
mark.
Roblox. That I do love that. But like you said, we do need some more data. But again, I cannot confirm nor deny that I did not buy some shares of my children's Roth IRAs. But back to Activision and C. I like Activision for cover calls. It's a nice price. It's, it's cheap enough that somebody can afford to do 100 shares or even on margin, they could do that. I love C on that weekly.
it's sexy. The weekly chart is absolutely sexy, and they got all the liquidity you need to write cover calls on C as well.
But
Oh, go ahead. Em.
I would be doing our Tackle 25 a disservice if I did not go with Activision.
You don't go against Tackle
I am
25.
I'm going to go with Activision.
How do you go against Tackle 25? It's got an amazing track record.
I cannot. But I do love that weekly on C. I gotta say I love it. But I will.
I'll tell you, if it was a pure directional trade without a sprinkle of cash flow, I think C is the better play. Honestly, if you're looking at growth, I think C can hit a bigger home run than Activision, no doubt about that. If you're looking for consistency and technicals, C wins the game here.
Beautiful.
That's very sexy, right? Both of them very similar triggers, right? We got one above 240, got one above 96, but both very similar technicals. The technical rate, I would say C is slightly better technicals, but I think when you have the ability to sprinkle a covered call in a position trade when it's needed, I think that is powerful.
Yeah.
And when the toss up is fundamentals and technicals, and you're planning on this being a position trade, I would lean more on the fundamentals than I would the technicals.
I just think the cover call allows you some management techniques that other systems don't.
Yeah,
So
I like your ATVI.
The Duke does not get his head chopped off.
Duke survives a week.
Duke survives.
Duke survives
for a week.
I got a week reprieve.
As
you may leave.
Squire.
No, hold on. I have to dismiss the Duke so that I can allow the other
I'm getting me a hat. I'm getting me a Duke hat.
Duke, you are dismissed. You might leave and have.
It might be a Duke Blue Devil hat, but I am getting me a Duke hat.
Who's coming in next? Is it you, Tim?
I will grant your majesty with my presence. Yes, absolutely. As a mere
Hold on.
squire, I did not
Let-
play
That
this
you'll
as
grant
smart.
her
You'll
with your
grant-
presence.
Grant?
You will grant.
Hold on.
Wait.
Let me
But
give
is
you a
that- is that
quote.
Wait a second.
Let me-
Is that some pre-age mansplaining there?
Like, you're lucky to have me, so I'll
That's
show
some
up.
dark
I mean,
ages,
Hold
man.
on. Let me give you a quote from the
That's
Queen
some
of Hearts from
patriarch
Alice in
stuff there,
Wonderland.
buddy.
This is a specific warning to Tim because he will be the one that will get his
I
head
don't like
chopped
his
off.
odds.
I warn you, child. If I lose my temper, you lose your head.
Well,
but since Tim,
No.
obviously-
I want to see him get his head chopped off. Go ahead.
my queen, I have a very
There you
simple offering to you. In fact, I did not think through this as wise as the Duke did. I will admit that up front. He brought two different bits of analysis to allow you to choose, like a roast pig and a roast duck, and so you could choose what you chose to.
I know my queen.
That's very smart. I am not as intelligent as that, queen, so I only brought you one offering. Hopefully it does pass and I get to keep my head. Bring up Microsoft if you can. Okay. I'm glad we're on the weekly chart. This company is 1A in the market for me, queen. It is the top stock I would pick in investment portfolio. We did a contest on the podcast a couple weeks ago. It was the first stock off the board that I chose. It is my 1A. I know the fundamentals. We know the fundamentals. Matt knows the fundamentals. We all appreciate what Microsoft brings to the table. Recent technical conditions. We had a 3-week pullback, on tech weakness. But if you compare that relative to even like, say, the NASDAQ, Apple Computer, Shopify, other big high-flying names, Microsoft held up with much better relative strength, only coming off from 246 down into that 220 zone, holding support and the rising long-term moving averages. And my queen, there's a couple of different ways that you can approach this. If you love long-term and you're looking for equity, obviously Microsoft can fit there perfectly. If you're considering just a position trade in the theme and the spirit of yesterday's podcast on the long call option, you'll notice that little blue box on the very bottom right of the entire screen, only 27% implied volatility currently, one of the lower ends of the range for Microsoft, about a month in front of their earnings report, 5 weeks. So we can get volatility build, a healthy long-term chart, great fundamental company. My humble queen, it's a very simple offering. Hopefully you accept.
So the play on this would be a long call.
Long call or equity.
Time frame.
Position trade up into earnings, at least on the position trade.
Position to forever.
Exactly. If you want
Okay.
to do equity, you can own it forever. Absolutely.
Em, can I add one thing to? Can I be your part? Can I be like your song mate?
My Duke, that is always a risk because my head is on the chopping block, but I will
Do you-
put
do you
my
try-
trust in your hands. Absolutely.
I don't
If you
like
will
your odds.
improve his odds on not having his head chopped off,
I don't.
you may
Well,
speak.
Listen, I like it when Tim's feet get burned. I don't like it when his head gets chopped off. So I just want to make sure that we only burn his feet a little bit. That's all I'm saying. A little bit, tickle a little bit of torture. I'm okay with that. Microsoft to a portfolio, my queen, is your Excalibur. It is the sword that unites all of Britain. That's what Microsoft is. That is the power of Microsoft. It should be literally sought after by everybody in every portfolio. That is how amazing and beautiful this company is. And to see this company not even clip a short-term support level in an environment where Apple got crushed, in an environment where Amazon can't get going, and yet Microsoft just gives us a shallow retracement into a retest of 227 with confirmation above 240. Literally, the world is Microsoft's oyster, and let's just see what it does. I love it here. I think you cannot chop Tim's head off with Microsoft.
First off, I like to make Tim sweat a little bit, so he didn't have to go all of that and pitch
Yeah.
Microsoft. All he had to do was just say Microsoft and
Well,
just shut
you
up.
only
really.
had to say Microsoft.
And just to kind of show you my daily prep, Microsoft was second on my list of Spotify. If you guys can see my camera, I did have those first two.
I like
Spotify coming back off of
nasty
a retrace.
volatility.
Yeah, but I don't have it in my portfolio. I thought that this would be a nice place for me to pick it up there as technology starts to come back into that play. But there was no need to talk much about Microsoft. You had me at Microsoft.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, I mean,
you
enjoy your
survived.
gift.
And
Helen.
you may
Love it.
you may return for 4 o'clock tea and we shall discuss Microsoft
Yeah.
together, should you wish.
Sweet.
Very good. All right. Now,
You survived. I survived. Does the jester survive?
there's one more member in the court.
Bring him to my chambers.
Listen, Queen, I got to
Is that how you start?
Listen.
Dude.
Didn't even kiss my hand, didn't even call
Listen,
me
I
your
got
majesty.
two for you.
Just
I got
listen.
two for you. First of all, I got a cash flow play for you. Let's pull up Palantir, PLTR. I had to take go 2, 3, 4 levels about where I'm normally trading, but PLTR has been trading. Palantir is one of the most popular stocks on Reddit message boards. Has a huge following. Company I love. I think it's a little bit pricey. But it's been trading in this long range consolidation pattern. Now, one of the things about Palantir is you can pick up some nice credits. And so in the height of the volatility, when things were crazy and there's that sell off Friday morning, came down to about $20 on the spot, which represented the bottom of the low. Let's go out to the April options. Now, when I sell puts, I like to sell them in the bottom of the range. Now, we don't have great tested time and time again support. We have a general range. I can get, what is that? About $80 on the 22s. Now, what I'm interested in, now I would love Palantir to come down to 15, in which I would start loading up the truck. Love the company, love its future. It's a little pricey on a valuation standpoint, but where that doesn't that apply right now? And I'm sick of waiting for $15. Can I interest you in a $22 naked put expiring in April for $80 on Palantir?
What's the delta on that 22?
$20.
And what would be my ROI?
Approximately, it's a decent ROI. I mean, but
About
okay,
36-37%.
88% implied volatility. You're going to be fine on any metric on ROI. Anything above, honestly, 50%, you're like.
First of all, the peanut gallery in the back is loving this. Terrence says you lost the queen at Reddit board.
I know he lost me at Reddit board. I can tell you that. Like once he said Reddit board, I'm like I don't know if you saw, but I'm like, Queen, cut his head off right now. He mentioned Reddit in the Queen's court.
Listen,
Like,
if you don't like money, you don't like money, you don't like money.
Chop his head off.
First of all, this is just going to be out of spite because you have been the one that has killed me the most in Among Us. So I am not even going to look at anything else. I am just going to say off with your head.
Listen, I got one more.
Oh, you're dead. Your head's off.
You're dead.
Your head's off. You're dead. You're dead.
You
You're dead.
are
You're dead.
done.
Your head. You can't respond.
Off with your head.
your
First
head's
of all,
off.
it has to clear. For me, it has to clear that moving average. Just at the 50 for me.
See, now you're dead, and now Emily can dance on your grave as she gives the analysis.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in bringing GE to the Queen's Court too, you know.
Oh,
That was my next one.
No,
so,
I love the cash flow on that. It does have some very juicy premiums, but your two brothers did win me over with Microsoft and ATVI. So I have to have one that displeases me. Otherwise, I can't be a queen if everything always pleases me. So you, my friend, are chopped today.
well,
Then we survived.
I have escaped the court and I'm seeking exile in the kingdom over, and we shall launch our penny stock
Okay.
brigade against your kingdom.